Alright, welcome to the Safety Net Finals, guys. Well, this is actually the semifinals. Today itself is the finals. We're looking to play out the remaining 4 matches in this tournament. 2 best-of-5s, 1 best-of-7 grand finals, and of course, a best-of-3 third-place match. So buckle in, guys. Lots of StarCraft this morning. But to kick this one off, spawning on the rightmost side of Secret Spring, it's the red Zerg player, Nerchio.
In the bottom left, as the blue Protoss, it's Harstem.
Alright, you're Mrs. Stats Lady. Do you have all these stats pulled up for these guys today, or?
No, I have a cat in my lap.
Oh, okay. Well, the reason I was going to bring this up is I actually don't know their win-loss record. Maybe you can check that out for me real quick. But Harstem and Nerchio have actually fought quite a bit recently. Kind of when you would see Mana and Nerchio as well, just always end up being in the semifinals or the quarterfinals of these tournaments. I know that Harstem and Nerchio have kind of had this this dance going a little bit lately. Not exactly rivals, but still an interesting dynamic between the two. And I think if you guys recall, last time these two fought, there was a bit of Broodlords mixed into the mix. Not sure if it'll go that way today, not in Secret Spring at least, but always an option in the matchup.
Well, I have their form, but I don't know about their fights against each other. Actually, I'm looking at Harstem's. I don't see Nerchio on here. When was the last time they fought?
Oh, we cast something with them. I can't remember what it was. We cast too damn much.
Sorry.
Gosh.
Nerchio. Okay, so nope. They haven't played officially since...
No, you know what? No. Let's pretend Rifkin didn't say anything for the last 2 minutes. I'm thinking Bly. My bad.
Oh, I was about to say, like, I don't remember them facing each other. But apparently the last time they faced each other was June 27th, 2014.
Okay, that's actually quite a while ago. I'm sure they probably hit each other on ladder, at least in the interim. But the thing is, despite the fact that Rifkin is in fact a fucking idiot, these two are both fantastic players. The fact that they made it to the semifinals does not shock me at all. Nerchio, I think, was kind of a question because this guy is a bit flippy-floppy. Sometimes he is really, really good, and I can see him on par with Koreans, and then sometimes he's just kind of like another European in the wind. Harstem, on the other hand, though, recently has been kicking a lot of ass, granted mostly in PvP, but we'll see how he does today against Nerchio.
Yeah. I mean, they both have pretty good win records versus the respective races they're facing. Maybe Nerchio a little bit higher. But Nerchio also has, like, some pretty... pretty solid results recently versus Protoss. They did lose against Naniwa to BCS, but then he 3-2'd Mana and 3-2'd Lilbo.
Oh, man.
So I guess it's all about that ace match.
Yeah, speaking of Lilbo, he is, of course, possibly the contender on the other side of this. I think a lot of people favor Lilbo in Lilbo versus State, but I would love to see State pull off an upset. That's kind of the nice thing about a lot of the stuff we tend to cast in mainstream TV. We do get those upsets from time to time.
Yeah. You know, we're all like another Harstem actually I don't think has quite the impressive Zerg versus Zerg roster in the last month or so. So I don't know. I guess with that in mind, maybe I give this a little bit more to Nerchio. But my heart did originally say Harstem.
Yeah, it's all those selfies that give him power.
Yeah,
Dominance
there's more.
over Zerg.
Yeah, you know. So it's gonna be a 4-gate coming out from Harstem.
Yeah, but it is off
one
of
gas.
2. Yeah, 1 gas, but off of 2 bases. So this isn't something that necessarily has to become too dedicated, but might be. At the same time, I would love if this just ends up being very, very light pressure into kind of baiting Nerchio to overreact. You know, 1 sentry can just force field that ramp off and choke Nerchio into 2 bases for, well, ever.
Yeah, that would be quite hard to break out of.
Kind of
but Nerchio,
yeah,
he's gonna go across the map. It's gonna be a sentry there.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get a whole lot done through this, but it's kind of a cool idea to try and just get past this because he knows. I think he knows as well. There's a chance that ramp just gets force fielded, and maybe he actually gets something accomplished at home. But he did sneak a drone out, so if he does get choked in, he could still put a hatchery down somewhere else. He can still try and expand outwards, and maybe establish a base that Harstem doesn't see. Metabolic boost does finish up, but yeah, speed doesn't make you any stronger versus zealots.
No, it does not. Well, Harstem, you know, he was probing up back home. He does throw down a lot of gas, so he's not really committing all that he can into this. I mean, he's posturing for I think long enough that just the act of posturing, it's like, okay, that's been too long. Let me go ahead and macro behind this. If he had been able to blitz right in Nerchio's face and Nerchio didn't expect it at all, well, it'd be a completely different game, wouldn't it? But now it's just gonna be looking like an expand like macro. I don't think he's gonna go into like a 2-base immortal, which we would see maybe on Overgrowth. But I don't know about Secret Spring.
Yeah, Harstem's definitely not incapable of pulling off an all-in properly as well to that extent too. But I just kind of like the idea of containing a Zerg player while you take 4 or 5 bases just because you've got, say, 8 sentries built and just rotate force fields for the rest of the game. So disgusting. Force out like a Nidus Worm or like Eventual Sax or something silly like that.
Yeah, and it's happening right now. Maybe Nerchio is going to try to break out of this with Roach Burrow. He's getting Burrow right now and Tunneling Claws later on. That'd be kind of cool. Oh,
Yeah.
and Nidus Worm, or that. Actually, you know, I think Nerchio was the guy that was showing us the Nidus Worm on this map, right? Like, he was the one that was
Right.
playing 2-base builds.
And I think it was it Happy that we had that weird base trade on, just rotating around the map?
Yes?
Yeah, for the Zotac
Yeah.
season finals. Oh man, well, Nidus Worm is cool one way or the other. There is some dead space that Harstem doesn't quite have covered down here in the middle, the heart of his base, and I mean, there's a recall. It's really not that bad, but I just love that this is how Nerchio is choosing to break out of the base, because for Harstem's sake, he never actually scouted that third. So he may be thinking, oh, I've contained my opponent on 2 bases. I'm doing quite well for myself. But, oh, will he see this with the probe? He just moved it. He sees it, pulls probes, see if it's enough to keep this from going down. But he does just recall immediately, not taking any risks.
Yeah, probably a good move. He did go up to... Wait, that got up? Oh, this was kind of like a bait.
I think he had backed away hoping that Nerchio would just start unloading and he could force field the units out of the Nidus Worm, right? And get some free kills from it, but nah, Nerchio didn't take the bait because he did move down that ramp with the roaches at the same time. So it's actually, I think, Nerchio who decided to bait with the Nidus Worm.
Yeah, hard to say, but I think one of the most important things is that he did in fact get that third down. If he had done a Nidus just on 2 bases and was now playing down that third, I'd feel a lot worse for Nerchio. But as it is, I guess I don't feel all that bad, but he's still not on the greatest of tech. Harstem is going, or looks to be posturing for a third. I guess he's going to wait for maybe an observer. Nerchio did get Burrow, which is going to be another headache to deal with that Nidus had gotten up, but as it hadn't, it's not that big a deal.
Oh, he's actually gonna go for it. It's like a double bluff. He doesn't actually
There's
have anything.
nothing here.
Yeah, there's nothing like inside the Nidus Worm to actually go over. Like a 1 or 2 roaches maybe, but as he runs back home with some lings, he'll get these through the base. Harstem is funneling back. I mean, he saw this coming, but I think at the same time he really isn't expecting this to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, neither is Nerchio. He stops sending units out.
Yeah, I kind of like those like 3 roaches, 4 roaches, and some lings. Just, you know, some probe kill potential, right? And he can burrow.
Yeah,
He can
that's
still
cool
burrow.
and all. It's you know, don't. I wouldn't say keep doing it. Niduses are expensive.
Yeah, 100 minerals, 100 gas. Nothing to scoff at. But Harstem, he holds pretty well. Meanwhile, his sentry count has remained quite high while this is going on, but the question is, where does his tech lie? Blink hasn't even finished, or begun, for that matter, so dealing with these mutas jumping around the bases is not going to be fun times for him. Yeah, I would actually love if Nerchio knocked down both rocks, not just the one set of rocks, so he could maybe even feel comfortable enough to double expand.
Yeah, that would be cool. I really like the move, go mutas. So just to add one step further.
Yeah, this is going to be quite annoying for Harstem. Blink is fairly late in context of things, but he'll still be able to fend this off. It's a low amount of Mutalisks for the time being.
Yeah, not a big deal. Let's pull the probes into that army, so trying to reduce losses. But I guess the question that we also have to ask, like, and Harstem has to ask, is how much he's dedicating to these mutas. You might, you know, honestly expect them to go all in on mutas because sometimes mutas can be very difficult to deal with. But a lot more players seem to just be like, I don't know, just recently I think we cast one other player,
8 to 10.
and then Nerchio, yeah, they go for like the 8 to 10, almost like a ZVZ, and then they go into Hydras or Roach Hydra.
Yeah, I mean, I applaud the movement of Nerchio. It's been worth it. He hasn't lost much. He's killed quite a few probes, forcing Harstem to stay at home instead of getting aggressive. But for Harstem's sake, what's nice is, even with the Hydra's transition behind this, +2, +3 weapon stalkers, mass blink stalkers, mind you, it kind of is a nice coverall. It'll work versus Mutalisks, it'll work versus Hydras and Roaches. I didn't realize stalkers actually had that range advantage. roaches so badly. But anyways, yeah, this is... For Nerchio, he's going to need fungal growth. I think he's realizing that's going to be that heavy blink stalker composition. So whether the infestation pit's for hive tech, whether it's for fungal growth, I mean, it's that extra tool he's going to need to make sure these stalkers don't spiral out of control. And that's the problem with stalkers too. They do spiral out of control very quickly. All of a sudden, you've like gone from damaging a bunch to, oh, you haven't killed any, and my army's now gone.
This is a very scary army, yeah. So. Probably not take the fight. I mean, if Nerchio had been going all in on the mutas, this attack from Harstem could do a lot of damage. It could also initiate a base trade, which, I don't know, seems to always go poorly for the Protoss. But, you know,
Yeah.
it was a good idea for that, but it's not a good idea to run into an almost maxed out Roach Hydra army with only Blink Stalkers, especially into a concave that Secret Spring does open up after you've gotten through that little hallway in the middle.
Well, Nerchio is looking to open up some rocks, an additional pathway through the map. Harstem actually does not have pylons established near these, something we tend to frequently see out of most Protoss players. This is going to hurt just because you won't see this coming, but at the same time, it's not like he needs to warp in to defend. Does have a pylon in the middle, curiously enough, though. Okay, this army from the bottom is no small amount of units. It's quite the dedication. Harstem is not in position with this. Blink Stalkers can respond pretty quickly, but they'll have to use their Blink aggressively just to get in position for this fight. Something you don't want them to have to do. But a time warp and an overcharge really nicely done, and the Blink forward is going to be quite aggressive. Plus 2 weapons on his side. Nerchio's got almost no upgrades for him. Plus 1's finishing up just now as the fight begins, but it's still, these Stalkers have so much damage. Now the Nexus goes down and this base gets shredded. So much so far so good, but this is the entire army of Nerchio. If he loses this, he's got nothing behind it.
Yeah, but he's trading out very, very well. So the small remax that he had, he had about 1,500 minerals in the bank. I think the gas was.
He might just take this fight. The Mortal took so long to actually get involved. It didn't have the range. The Stalkers were blocking it out. Who cares that the roaches are gone? Yeah, Harstem's the one who's going to take that loss. GG. Nerchio. Wow.